The lady in question was like a daughter to me. She had stayed with me for 3 years. She was a staff of the Federal Medical University. She was a nurse and not a physiotherapist. And the family and my family are like one family. And she has her medical records in Turkish hospital, being paid by us. And she spoke to her boyfriend at the hour of her death and complaining that she was bleeding from the nose. And the boyfriend said, no, you have to report. You say it has stopped. So the boyfriend said, listen, I will not continue this conversation since you are bleeding. It will increase the bleeding. And she told the boyfriend, don't cut the call. The boyfriend cut the call. And 3 minutes later, the boyfriend called again. She was not responding. And even in the morning, she told the boyfriend she was going to bath because she locked her door, you know. So even in the morning, when they broke the door and discovered her dead, the tap was still running, you know. So, but what baffles me, you know, in this country is that everything becomes an opportunity. Now, there is a guest house where her and the second medical person stay. And that is very far from where I stay. And so it means that, God forbid, somebody dies in Ministry of Works, the minister must be accountable to that. Is that what they're saying? Is that they're saying that somebody cannot die? Is that, have they checked the medical records of the lady? Do they know, you know, that this lady was like a daughter to me? And but you know, everything goes into politics. But what I say to people, be careful. Life is spiritual. When you want to use the unfortunate death of a young girl to play politics, if we have hands in the killings, it will follow us in our family. But if we don't have hands and you are jumping into it, behold, this is David. I'm a man of full grace. You don't, you know, tackle me anyhow and you go out of it. So be careful when you want to use the death of that young lady. You know, one of my best workers, a nurse, a staff of the federal. Somebody said, oh, they were transported, you know. The second girl is from Benue State, you know, and that girl has worked with me as a governor before she was employed. And so when people darken the so while I'm not talking to the president, it means nothing, but very painful to me that that girl passed on, you know. It's very difficult to replace her, you know. And, you know, the parents will be begging them, allow for autopsy to happen. They say it's against their culture. But the question is that if she were a Muslim, will you be insisting that autopsy will happen? You know. But we insisted through our lawyer that autopsy should happen. And we are begging the parents to allow autopsy to happen. And I say no, it's against their culture. And so we have a stalemate, you know. And only God will resolve it because I have directed that the corpse cannot be removed until they have done autopsy. But it's very strange why an unfortunate thing that happened, you know, is being made this. Is it that we killed a woman that was giving me injection, you know, or that, you know, was administering drug to us, that live in our guest house, even in my residence in Asokoro. So what sort of rubbish is that, you know? So, but people should be careful because when I kneel down to pray, I say when you push yourself into this, I say, God, may the death of the girl be better than their own death. That's my prayer for everybody that is using it to play politics. But if we have hands, let it also follow us.
Hello everyone, how are you today? Trust you're doing great. Welcome to Peter's Studio. Alright, Nigeria is once again facing a national conversation that goes beyond politics. It is a story involving power, public trust, accountability, and the demand for transparency. The name dominating discussion across social media platforms is Senator David Umahi, Nigeria's Minister of Works, following the death of a woman identified in report as Mary Habila, who was said to have worked as a nurse or health professional connected to him. The incident that has generated widespread reaction with many Nigerians demanding answers and transparent investigation. But what exactly happened? What did Minister Umahi say during the press briefing? And why has this matter attracted so much attention. Now, let's take a look at the incident that sparked national debate. Reports emerging from the incident state that Mary Habila died at the residence of Minister David Umahi in Ebonyi State. The circumstances surrounding her death quickly became a subject of public discussion, with questions raised online about what happened before her death and whether all the facts had been made public. As the story spread, social media became a courtroom of opinions. Some Nigerians called for a thorough investigation, arguing that every citizen deserves justice regardless of social status. Others warned against rushing to judgment, insisting that allegations should not replace evidence. Breaking his silence, Minister David Umahi addressed the controversy and rejected suggestions that there was an attempt to hide information. According to report, Umahi stated that there was no secrecy involved in the matter and explained that the appropriate authorities were involved. He also supported the need for an autopsy to establish the cause of death. The minister reportedly expressed sympathy to the family of the deceased and maintained that the truth should be allowed to emerge through proper investigation rather than social media speculation. His position was essentially, let the investigation determine what happened, allow medical and security authorities to establish the facts, and do not convict anyone through public opinion. Now, why are Nigerians demanding answers? The controversy has attracted strong reactions because Nigerians have repeatedly demanded accountability from public officials. Many people argue that when an incident happens around people holding powerful positions, transparency becomes even more important. What exactly happened before Mary Abila's death? What was the medical cause of death? Were proper procedures followed after the incident? Will the investigation be independent and trusted by the public? These questions, according to many commentators, can only be answered through evidence and credible investigation. In conclusion, David Umahi's controversy is a reminder that in a democracy, public trust is built through openness, accountability, and respect for due process. The deceased deserves justice, the family deserves answers, and every person accused deserves a fair process. The responsibility now lies with investigators to provide clear answers based on evidence. What do you think? Should Nigerians wait for the outcome of the investigations, or do you believe more transparency is needed immediately? Kindly leave your opinion in the comment section. Now, if you've not already liked and subscribed to this video, please kindly subscribe and like so that subsequently, when more of these videos have been uploaded, you'll be one of the first to get notified. Thank you very much, and we're going to see you next time. Bye.